Welcome everyone to the Knitting by the Sea podcast. My name is Lisa and I am Saratogaknitting on Instagram and on Ravelry, and welcome to my home. I live in Marblehead, Massachusetts, which is a small town just north of Boston, and it's a harbor town, so we live right on the ocean here. I live in a very old house right now. We're renting this in this lovely location. This house was built in 1750. And so it's very, very old. So I'm sitting in front of the fireplace in our living room. So welcome. So today we're going to do a couple of things. We will take a look at some finished objects. We will look at some works in progress, and I have some knitting planning going on as well. We'll talk about some knit-alongs, and then we'll do some chatter at the end. So let's get started. Finished objects. What do I have to show you today? I have two. Well, one is a half finished object. But before we start, I should just mention that we do have a cat here. Many of you already know. She's probably sleeping somewhere. I don't hear her right now, but she does have a little bell on her collar. So you may hear her if she decides to come down. You may hear her jingle, and that's what that little jingle is. You probably won't see her. I don't even hear it anymore. Someone had asked me about it a couple of times ago, and I was like, I didn't even hear her when she came through. And my husband is out doing some photography right now, so he might wander back in. I'm not sure how long we'll have peace and quiet here, but for now, we're good. So finished objects. I did finish one half of the pair of Rosa's socks that I am knitting, and I am knitting these for my for the Pen Pal Knit Along through Pause for Stitches podcast with Candy and Jenny from Lucky Jenny Knits. They are holding a joint knit along, and it's 3 months. It's I think it's 3 months. September, maybe it's 4. September, October, November, and December. And we've been paired up with a partner. And so our first task is to knit a pair of socks. And we actually are knitting. Julie and I are actually knitting a pair of socks for each other. So it's a little scary. I've never knit a pair of socks for someone else. So that will be interesting. Hopefully the sizing is good. But these are the Rosa socks. And this is a really nice pattern because it is brioche. So it's just brioche, one color brioche. So you can see the brioche ribbing in here. It's super easy. This is a great pattern if you've never done brioche to kind of take a look at. It's really not complicated at all. It's so much simpler than two-color brioche, which is great as well. But this is really a nice pattern. This gives a really nice stretchy rib to it. These are done toe up with the fish lips kiss heel, and then I have the brioche rib on the top of the foot, and then up the leg as well. I'm very, very pleased with these. I think their sizing is correct, and I've already started on the second pair. I think we're supposed to have the pair done by the end of September, but I think I probably will, because these are my commuter knitting project right now. I do commute into Boston every day, so I have quite a long commute on the bus and on the T, so I'm able to get projects like this done fairly quickly. So I've made this pattern before. I haven't made it in a long time, so I'm actually really happy to revisit it. I'm really enjoying it. And this yarn is also from Little Bean Crochet. Kayleen, who lives in Marblehead, she is an independent dyer, and I really love her. I love her color sense and her yarn. This is a beautiful speckled yarn. I'm really enjoying working with it. So these hopefully by the next time will be a totally finished object, but I'm really happy with these so far. My second finished object I'm also very pleased with. I am pleased with it. I don't think I will keep it for myself, however, and this is the Booster Beanie. Everyone is doing the Booster Beanie. This is by Gundren Johnson, and it was the Shetland Wool Week free pattern this year. So you can actually, if you Google Shetland Wool Week and you sign up for their newsletter, you can download this pattern for free, and it's really great. It's a Fair Isle hat. So you can see the colors are really fantastic. I really love these colors quite a bit. I got a kit during the Knit Local getaway that we went to back in April from Carol, Foster Sheep Farm. She put together some kits of different colors specifically for the Booster Beanie pattern, which was really nice because it's one of these, as you can see, you need 3 colors, or you can use 3 colors in the hat to have the pattern really pop. And it's just nice sometimes to have someone else put together some colors for you. I always have a hard time or it seems like a lot of work to figure out what colors you're going to use. So to have someone actually put together the little kit was really nice, and I'm really happy with it. I love the yarn. Of course, I always love knitting with Carol's yarn because it used to be local to me, so I still feel like it's my kind of local yarn source. But you can see I have this lovely dark gray color and a lighter gray, which is a little bit brownish, and then this purple or burgundy color in here as well. So this pattern, I didn't think it was going to be as big. It's one size fits all, so it's basically meant for an adult. You can change it because you can just do less of the repeats. And I think probably if I was going to do this again, I would have fewer of the repeats because it's quite large. And I was using the right needle size and everything, and it does come out large. And if on me, I would just kind of use it, and it would be kind of a little bit of a slouchy hat a little bit here. You can also put a pom-pom on the top. That would be really cute, and then the slouchiness would go on. I think probably it would fit. I kind of tried it on my husband yesterday. This is not his style of hat. So I might give this away actually as a Christmas gift. Because it's really, really beautiful. I really like it. It just seems a little bit too big for me. And as I said, if I was going to knit this again, and I might, I would just take out two of these repeats and just start the decreases earlier, and then it would be more of a beanie or a smaller hat for myself. And now the other thing I wanted to show you, because I'm all about It's Just Knitting on this podcast, is that, let's see if I can find it here in the light. I made a mistake, and I'm going to, of course now I'm not going to find it. And, maybe I'm going too high. Here it is. I found it. So most people wouldn't see this, but again, if you see here, right on the back here, I have some extra red stitches in there, and I think in my mind I was just restarting this pattern up again where I really I should not have been. So what I can do with this, I'm going to get really close here so if you can see the stitches. What I'm going to do with this is just take the actual color that it's supposed to be, so I think it's supposed to be this dark gray here, and I'm going to duplicate stitch right over those stitches. So basically what you do with duplicate stitch is just put your yarn in a needle and then just follow the direction of those stitches. You can, if you can Google duplicate stitch, and you can find there's really great tutorials online on YouTube on this, and it's really easy to do, and it will basically just cover up the red, and so you'll only see the gray, and it's something really easy to do, especially with any kind of fair isle or color work. If you do make a mistake somewhere, you can easily fix this, and the person that I'd be giving this to would never even notice this at all. But I think for myself, I will go ahead and fix this, and this will probably go in my basket of gifts for Christmas. But I'm really happy. This was a really fast knit. It really was nice to do once you know what you're doing on these repeats here. It's super easy. You're just doing two colors on any one particular row, and it's just nice. And probably if you're going to Rhinebeck, everyone when you see will have a Booster beanie. We'll have a Booster beanie on. Alrighty, so those are my two finished objects. So now let's move on to works in progress. Works in progress. Well, my biggest work in progress, of course, is the Bruntsfield vest by Isolde Teague. This is going to be my Rhinebeck sweater, Rhinebeck vest this year. I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm really getting there. I'm almost up to where I'm going to bind off the shoulders on each side, and then we'll be doing the steeking. So it's a vest, it's a fair isle vest. I'm going to be steeking. Again, this is my first time doing steeking, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I thought that a vest maybe would be a little easier. I'm not so sure right now. Maybe it would have been better just to do a cardigan and just steek right up the front. But this is going to be an experiment, and I'm sure it will be fine. But so I'm knitting it in the round, and I have to cut a steek for the vest opening here, and then I also have to cut a steek for each of the armholes, and then we'll do a ribbing around them. So I'm pretty excited about this. I'm really almost getting there, and Rhinebeck is I feel like it's around the corner, so I really need to get going, finish this off. But I'm really doing this. And this is not the cat. This is actually a stitch marker that has a bell on it. For all that, I forgot that was there. So here it is. This is the Bruntsfield vest, again, by Isolde Teague. I'm going to hold it up. This will be the front of the vest. And I have these markers here are for this steek that goes right down, that's going to go right down here in the front. And then I have the steek on each of the side, the steek stitches on each of the sides. So here's where they start, and they go right up here. And steek stitches, just as an explanation, if no one else, if you haven't done anything like this before. So basically, when you have a Fair Isle project like this, so you're using two colors. I'm working it in the round, so it goes all the way around. I don't stop or start anywhere. I just pick up and do the next row. So this goes all the way around. So at some point, I'm basically knitting just a tube right now. So this is a tube that starts from the bottom with the ribbing here, and then just goes around and around and around with these the beautiful Fair Isle patterns, using two colors at one time, which is why it's called Fair Isle. And what you have to do then is that what you do is you place in what are called steek stitches, and they are in patterns somehow, so you know where they are, but you just keep track of them. So those particular 5 stitches are not part of the actual pattern that's going on here, but you do use the yarn that you're using in each row so that you can continue to carry it over. And these are basically a set of 5 extra stitches. So I have 5 extra stitches right here in the front. And then I have 5 extra stitches on the side for the armhole, one armhole, and I have 5 extra stitches on the other side for the other armhole on this side. And what you basically do then is that you go in and support the side stitches somehow, and then you clip right between on that middle stitch. So there are 5 stitches, so you're going to be clipping that 3rd stitch right down the middle, and basically it opens it right up. And you can do this using, you don't want to use anything like superwash. Well, you could use superwash on. You just have to really have to take care that you do your sides here really carefully. But for this is really sticky yarn. It's palette yarn from Knit Picks. I love Knit Picks palette yarn. It's very, very affordable for all this different color work for this sweater. And so what I will end up doing is reinforcing the sides of the stitches right next to the one in the middle that I'm going to do. That's why you have the 5 stitches there. And you can do it a couple of different ways. I'm actually going to use a crochet reinforcement. I don't have a sewing machine. I don't sew, so this is what you're going to do. So you can do using a crochet hook and some extra yarn. You can use a sewing machine. I think you could probably hand stitch it as well, but I think I'll just use the crochet method on this. And I'm at the point where I have a few more rows to go, and then, as I said, you bind off on the 2 sides for your shoulders and the back as well, and then you've got this opening for the front, and you've got the openings for the shoulder, for the two armholes. What I found yesterday is that I totally forgot about this. I was just at lunchtime yesterday. I was looking, and I said I was actually looking for something else, and I thought I'd go and look on Craftsy.com. If you've never looked at Craftsy, it's a really great resource. It's again Craftsy.com. And basically what it is, they sell yarn and different books and things like that, but they also have a whole series of video classes that you can purchase on many different topics, not just on knitting, but really on anything, crafting and on photography, on quilting, on sewing, on knitting and crocheting. It's really a really great resource, and you have to purchase, of course, the video, but once you purchase it, it's yours forever, so you can go back and refer to it. And at some point, probably when I started doing this, about a year ago now, I saw that Mary Jane Mucklestone had a Fair Isle vest class. And it's not exactly this pattern because this is by Isolde Teague, but it's very similar. And I must have purchased it, and I never watched it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really getting to the point where I need to take a look at some tutorials to do the steeking. And I saw this yesterday. I was like, I totally forgot I bought this. I totally forgot. So I watched some of it yesterday at lunch, and it was great. So she went through all the different steps to do the reinforcement of the steeks. So that's why I knew I was going to do the crochet one, but it was really great to watch her do it. And then she cut the steeks, so she showed you how to do that. And then she showed you how to pick up the yarn, because you have to pick up yarn for the collar and for the edging. So it was great. What a great resource. And again, it was like a gift. I totally forgot that I had it. I'm so happy that I had it, because I'm getting very, very, very close to this. I think probably during the week this week, I will get to the point where I'm going to bind off these shoulder and the shoulder stitches. And I'm pretty excited about that, because then probably maybe next weekend, I'll do the crochet reinforcement, and then do the steeking. It has to be done during the day. I don't have enough light to do it at night, but I wouldn't want to either. I want it to be like fresh and ready to go, and have it all laid out, and have Sophia help me. So I have someone there for moral support, and then do it. And then once I do that, then I'm all ready to pick up the stitches for the collar and for the edges on the arms, and I'm so excited. And then I'll have my Rhinebeck sweater done. That will be a most momentous time. Hopefully, I'm going to try to do. Maybe Sophia will actually video me while we're doing cutting the steeks. As long as it works out well. It will. I really don't have any doubt about it. The more times you look at the pattern, and the more times you look at some videos and resources online, the easier it seems to be. It's just really doing it for the first time. There's just a lot of angst, of course, attached to it. But I'm really happy. I think this will be really beautiful. I think I'll be done with Fair Isle for a little while. I'm probably not going to be doing any color work for a while, but I know that I'll get the bug again. It's just such a really, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and this is just going to be a piece that I'll have forever. I really will wear this. I really will wear this forever. It has so many different colors in it that it really can match with anything that I might wear with it in my wardrobe. So I think my workmates will see this quite a bit this winter. I think quite a bit. So anyway, very, very happy, getting very close. Wish me good luck. And then come and see me at Rhinebeck and see how it came out. So I'm very, very excited about that. That's my big project that's still on the needles. I have some things that I'm thinking about starting soon. I really want to concentrate on getting that done. But another kind of a knit along that you might want to take a look at. Louise, the Knit British podcast, the audio podcast, is actually doing what's called a Good Intentions Club, and that is from I think same kind of thing, maybe October, November, December. So it's like a 3 or 4 month kind of thing, not necessarily for prizes, but it's just kind of an idea that she's put out there, which I think is really, really great. And basically, the Good Intentions Club is to pick 3 patterns that you have already, and that you probably have yarn for already, and that you have been thinking about doing, and you just haven't put it together to say, I'm going to do these. And they're patterns that maybe you really, really want to do, you just haven't kind of got it together. You know, you've been distracted by the new and the shiny, and haven't gone back to some of the projects that you really, really want to get started. So basically what you want to do is pick out 3 and post them up, and then work on them and get encouragement from other participants. I've already looked at the thread. She has she put up a thread. I think it was just one of her podcast episodes thread, but it's right there. And people have already put up the patterns that they're thinking about doing, and I've probably added some to my queue because they look like really, really interesting things to do. So I'm pretty excited about actually doing it. They're just, patterns that have been in my mind, but this is just going to kind of give me a little bit extra push. And some you've already heard about. You've heard about from me. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I cast on for my Hansel, or for the half Hansel version. The Hansel is a hap pattern by Gundren Johnson, and I've wanted to do this for a long time. I've been in the process of spinning most of the yarn for it, and I'm almost done with that. So it's time to cast that on. This is the I think this shows the full Hansel. But again, this is by Gundren Johnson, and it's just beautiful. So it has your main color of yarn. This is the full Hansel is a Shetland. It's a Shetland shawl, but it's a huge square. So then you could wear it however. You could wear it as a blanket. You could use it as a christening blanket. You could wrap it around you and use it as a shawl. What I'm going to do is just do a half. So I'm going to do the triangle. So basically half of that of the hansel. So I'm just going to do a triangle. So it'll be a large shawl for me. I just don't think I have enough yarn to do a full hat. But this is going to be beautiful anyway. So this is the pattern, and I'm spinning yarn fiber that I purchased from Carol at Foster Sheep Farm once again. So this color is going to be my main color, which is lovely. This is the brown. Really lovely and very soft and squishy. And then I have several colors for contrast. This is one that I also spun. This is a really beautiful contrasting dark charcoal brown. And I did actually purchase some yarn. I think I mentioned this last time, from New Leaf Yarns in the UK. And this is beautiful alpaca. And I thought this would be a really interesting little accent yarn to use as well in this, because it's really pulling in all the different colors. So that's going to be an accent color. And then I am finishing up the last of what I purchased from Carol specifically for this pattern, and this is going to be this beautiful red color. So this will give a pop of some interesting color to the scalloped edge. So I'm really looking forward to do it. I already have this on the wheel. But I just have to finish this, and then I'll be good to go. I'm going to start this before I finish this though, because once I get the Brunsfield done, that's good. This is gonna be my main project. So I may start that before I finish the Brunsfield, but so I have all the yarn ready to go for that. So I'm very, very happy with that. I'm pretty excited. So that's going to be my first one that's coming up. The second one that is coming up. Now this is a pattern I probably have had this pattern since, I don't know, since it first came out. I don't even know when it was. So the pattern has been on Ravelry since 2007. I probably have had it since 2007. I remember purchasing it. I remember thinking this is beautiful, and I just never started it and put away. And I see it because I have a book full of patterns. I'm like, I really should do that. I really should. So I think. This is going to give me the impetus to do this. So this is the Sarcelle shawl by Christy Garachi, and it's really beautiful. It's just a very light and airy lace weight yarn. And what I'm going to use for this is the This is the Saratogaknitting, and this is it here. This is lace weight yarn. I have two gorgeous skeins of this, and this is card, and it is 65% silk and 35% baby camel, and it's from Switzerland. Oh my goodness, it is just gorgeous. And I have two, and I won this yarn from the lovely ladies at the Main Yarn podcast. That's also an audio podcast, but yes, I won this in a giveaway. I have two beautiful skeins, so this will be turned into the Sarcelle shawl. So I'm going to kind of work on those together at the same time. I'm really looking forward to casting that on as well. My third piece that I'm thinking about doing during this particular time period, so early winter, fall, early winter, is and I've spoken about this before, this is the Batade by Stephen West. So, of course, I love pictures of Stephen West in his projects, but that's what this is. So this is basically it's almost like a poncho, so it has a neck hole, and then it kind of goes over you, so you don't have to wrap it or anything. It just kind of sits on your shoulders. And I'm going to be using for the main color, and it's this yellow color. For me, it's going to be this crazy Inca print color. It's a little more muted in real life than it is. The pink is really showing up quite extensively, but it's not quite that bright. And this yarn I got from the Knit Local getaway that I went to back in April. So I won this in my big prize package bag. So I'm really looking forward to this. I have plenty of this, and then I'll probably do the accent color maybe in a black, which I think will be really, really pretty. So I'm looking forward to getting the Brunsfield done and off the needles, so I don't have to worry about it. Not that I'm worried about it, but it's a project. It's my big project, and you think about it. I think about it quite a bit. So I'm interested in getting some of these other projects on the needles where I won't have to they won't stress my brain quite as much as the Brunsfield. I know that Sophia, every time she looks at the Brunsfield, she's like, my head is exploding. I can't even like think what you're doing. It's not that bad. It's all just knitting. but it does take some brain power. So I'm pretty interested. So those are the things that are upcoming, and you'll be seeing me start to cast some of those on as we get going into the fall, into the early winter. All right, so I think that's all I have for works in progress and potential works in progress for right now. So let's move on to some knit-alongs. Knit-alongs. I have two to talk about today. Of course, we have in the Knitting by the Sea podcast group over on Ravelry, we are having right now a knit-along called Let's Get Sophia Knitting Again. Sophia is my daughter who has just returned recently from a year in Japan. She was a teacher in Japan for a year, so now she's back and she's living with us. And she really did not do much knitting while she was in Japan. She is much more of a social knitter, so she likes to be around people who are knitting and talk about knitting, etc., more than doing it by herself when she's just alone. So now that she's back, she really is interested in kind of getting back some of that knitting mojo, and she has been. And so we decided to have a knit along and just get some encouragement from her and some ideas of things she might want to knit. And so over on the Ravelry thread, it's just a chatter thread. We don't have a finished object thread because that's not really the idea of this particular one. This is just more kind of some moral support for a knitter to kind of get back to doing what she loves. And she actually is. She is working on the Longbourn shawl by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears, and it is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She's using again some yarn from Kayleen from Little Bean Crochets, and it's just gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. I think maybe next time I'll get her on here and she can show it to you. But the pattern is lovely, and she really is doing some more work. She also has. She's a sock knitter as well. She's a plain vanilla sock knitter, so she has a couple of socks upstairs that have just been on the needles for a while that I think she's kind of trying to pull back out again as well. So anyway, so we've been having a lot of fun and chatter over there and some encouragement, and people are just showing us different projects that they're working on and their progress, and posting them up if they happen to get them finished, just to kind of give Sophia a little push and say, hey, we're all out here, we're here for you, girl. We want you to get right back to knitting, and I think it's really been a lot of fun for her, and so she has. So we have that open. I think we'll have that open until the end of September. So maybe the next time we're on, I'll have Sophia come on and we'll draw for prizes for that. We have 3 lovely prizes. So as I said, come on over. We just ask that you be a member of the group, but come on over, chit chatter, throw some pictures of what you're doing in there, and give Sophia some love and encouragement for her new knitting, her getting back to knitting. Anyway. So for prizes, we have 3. And the first one is a pattern prize donated by Jeanine McCarty, and it's the Yexa shawl. I did knit it, and so you've seen it. You've seen it if you watched the podcast a few times ago. I was a test knitter on it, and I loved it. It's just really, really beautiful, and she's very generously donated a copy of that pattern for one winner. So thank you, Jeanine. Very happy with that. The second is a beautiful skein of yarn. This is from Sophia and myself. From Kayleen, from Little Bean Loves Hand Painted Yarn, Little Bean Crochet. I'll put her Etsy shop down here so you can see it. But she, as I said, is our local dyer here in Marblehead, and she does beautiful, beautiful work. This skein is, 75% merino, and then there's 20% nylon and 5% stellina. So it sparkles. It's called her Sparkle Sock, and the colorway is called Courage. So I really love this. So this will go to one lucky winner. And then the third prize is Gil from the Birdie and Poppet Etsy shop. Gil is from the UK, and she so generously donated a project bag to the podcast as a prize for this. So here's her card right here. Isn't that cute? Birdie and Poppet. And you can go ahead and take a look on Etsy at her shop. But she gave Sophia and myself a beautiful bag, and that the bags that she sent are not the bags that are going to go for a prize. She herself will choose a bag and send it out to the winner. So one lucky winner is going to have a bag from Birdie and Poppet. So we are very, very excited about it. Second knit along that's just going to get started soon, October 1st, is the Harry Potter knit along with Oh Loose. And this is the 5th year of the Knit Along, long time, and I am a moderator for the Knit Along. I've been a moderator since year one. I am the Hufflepuff professor, so my house is Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff rules. So the Knit Along starts October 1st. If you've been involved in it before, welcome back. We can't wait to get started again. And if you're a new student, welcome. You're going to make a lot of nice friends here in this Knit Along. And yeah, it starts on October 1st. I think the ability to get into the Knit Along is already done because you have to purchase at least one skein of yarn from her Harry Potter updates. So I think all of those sales have been completed now. But if you're in, great. We're gonna have a great time. It's a long-term knit along. It lasts from October, November, and December, which is really great. So we usually have a main project that we do. So it could be a shawl, it could be hats, it could be socks, something like that. But a main one, our biggest one, that's going to mostly use the most yarn, or just the project that's going to take the longest usually is in November, because we're kind of trying to get everybody started in October, and then December is a tough time for knitting for everyone. So usually in December we have something, one of our main projects be something that's easily, something that you could be knitting for a gift, etc. So there's all kinds of fun things that we do. If you knit a project, all your projects that you knit, all the three main projects are with O Loops yarn. You can be termed a seeker, and there are special prizes for that. There are prizes all the way along. We have non-knitting threads as well each month, so challenges each month, and we have house points. So we're competing for the house cup at the end of December, and it's really fun. Someone from the house that has the most points will win a really big prize package from Lydia. So, and there are prizes all the way through. There are pattern prizes, there are yarn prizes. It's a lot of fun. But really, the nice thing about the Harry Potter Knit Along is that we, if you've been there all through the years, we have some really great people, and we've made friends really that have lasted a long time. I think someone had mentioned the other day in one of the threads, because Lydia already has some of the threads open. The Knit Along doesn't start until October 1st, but the Great Hall is open, and each of the houses are open, so you can come on in and say hello right now. But someone had mentioned that this was the first Knit Along that she's maintained contact through Ravelry and online with the people in the Knit Along, and it really is true. It's really a great group of people that have joined into this Knit Along. We have new people each year, and we just have some folks that have been around for the entire time of the Knit Along. So you really get to know people, and it's just really a lot of fun. And I really feel like we have some really great friendships that have really started from this. But anyway, the reason I wanted to bring this up today is because I wanted to show you. I have all of my yarns ready to go, and I have the project bag that I usually use for this is this really great Hogwarts bag that we've had. I actually think it's Sophia's, but I steal it. I steal it for this Knit Along all the time. But it's really great. So Lydia has available a prefix kit at the beginning, which you can purchase, and you get some skeins of yarn. You get all kinds of goodies: stitch markers, tea, soap, which we've already used up, Birdie's Bots beans, etc. So, but really, the most important part is the yarn that Lydia does up. She just does some beautiful, gorgeous yarn colors, and they're obviously for this they're Harry Potter themed. But I'm just going to show you a couple of the ones that I have. This one is called Unafraid of Toil. It's on her Perfection knot, so it's merino nylon, and it's beautiful. So you would use, these are in Hufflepuff colors, of course, because I'm Hufflepuff. And so you would use, basically you could use these for a pair of socks, and then you've got the contrasting color for heels and toes. You wouldn't have to use it for a pair of socks, but you certainly could. And that is just absolutely gorgeous. And then the second one we have is called Hogwarts Will Always Be My Home. And it is twisted, it's her Twisted Bachman space. So it's 80% BFL, 20% nylon, and it's 400 yards, and just look at these beautiful colors. Are these great or what? Yeah, they just scream Hogwarts and everything about it. So this is another lovely skein that I have. Then I also have two other skeins. This one is on her Bimini twist, so this is all 100% merino, and it's called Dean Thomas. And this looks like it's self-striping. So this would be a really fun pair of socks. These colors, just beautiful. And then the last one that I have to show you is also on Bimini Twist, and this is called Platform 9 3/4. And Sophia saw this today. She's like, I really like this one, Mom. I'm like, no, sorry, it's mine. Sorry. So again, this looks like it's going to be self-strapping again as well. So isn't that gorgeous? Really, 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 really gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, that lasts from October through December. So I have a lot of knitting, and I'm going to be knitting all the time. There's just not enough hours in the day. So those are our 2 knit-alongs that I wanted to mention to you again. Come on over to the Let's Get Sophia Knitting again, and just give her some encouragement. And if you're in the Harry Potter knit-along, I can't wait to see you on the first day of class. So now let's move on to some chat. All right. Well, let's see what's been happening around here. I think since the last time we spoke, Sophia and I actually went back to Saratoga, and we met up with my sister-in-law Tracy, our knitting partner in crime, and we took a visit over to see Carol at Foster Sheep Farm once again, and we had a great afternoon there. We just looked at all the yarn, and of course I purchased some. I have a pattern that I've had for a little while too, and I really think this is super interesting, and I'm looking forward to doing this. And it's called Moon Glow by Jenna Huck, and it actually was part of I think it was part of an ebook. But this is the pattern that I really liked. It's a shawl. It's a 3-color shawl. So I'm not quite sure how it's constructed, but it looks really beautiful, and I'm really interested in doing it. So I thought I would. I think the last time I had talked about this, I was actually going to be looking for a sweater pattern, which I also want to do, but I probably will end up getting maybe some Knit Picks Wool and Yandies for that, to do a kind of a Nordic sweater, which I'm also interested in doing. But once I got there, I wasn't seeing anything that I really wanted for that, so I thought about this project. I was like, maybe I'm going to take a look and see. And that's the beautiful thing about our cell phones today. I just pulled up Ravelry, and I was like, okay, let's take a look at this. So I did find some yarn for that. This is going to be the main color. It's actually, what's this yarn? The tag here. It's actually Ultra Alpaca by Barocco, which I think I have used before, and I've really enjoyed it. So this will be the main color. It's kind of a camel-y color here. And then I got these two contrasting colors as well. And I realized once I got them home, they look very similar to the colors. These 2 colors look very similar to the colors that I used on the Booster Beanie. I really like the way these 2 colors match together, and I think it will be really great together with this. So this will be a cast on at some point. Again, not enough hours in the day, but this will be a cast on it at some point. I think this will be really lovely, and I'll be very interested in doing this. But we had a lovely afternoon with Carol, and she let us go out and take a look at the sheep, because they were actually all in the barn that afternoon. So that was just delightful, and lots of fun. What else? I haven't been online that much. Some, but maybe not so much as usual, because as most of you know, I work at a college. So this past 2 weeks it was the beginning of school here in the United States for college students. So they are all back on campus, and I deal in the billing financial aid side. So we have to help students with their making sure their bills are paid, etc. So it's been a crazy move-in week, and we've been working all kinds of crazy hours, and it's been very, very busy. Which is fine, which is what it's supposed to be, but just this past week, I think now things have calmed down, so I can kind of get back into it. But it's just the time of year at the United States is when we really the year starts up again for the students, and they've all been gone for the summer. And if you have a teenager of any sort, you know that they're not looking at their emails over the summer. They're not paying attention to things that need to be done until the last minute. What do you mean I can't move into my dorm room? Well, we need this documentation before we're going to let you do that. So that's the kind of things that we've been dealing with. But again, it's a great time of year. So it's always fun, and there's a lot of excitement in the air. So we're doing that. It's also starting to get cooler as well. So it's not so cool today, but it's been getting cooler. So the trees here are starting to change color just a little bit, which is really, really nice. It's fun. And we'll just be able to kind of get out and about a little bit more. I do, as I said before, I live right next to a little park here called Crocker Park, which is really beautiful. And if you walk to the top of the hill, you can just look out over the harbor with all the boats. So that's really, very nice. I'm assuming that many of the boats are actually going to come out this weekend because we have Hurricane Jose, which is making its way up the coast, and it probably will be here maybe Tuesday night into Wednesday. And it's not going to be a hurricane in any sense of the Harvey or the Irma that we obviously had in Texas and Florida over the last month, which have been horrendous. This for us will be more of a nor'easter, and I've talked about this before. So the winds are going to come in from the northeast, and they're going to come right down the harbor, and we're probably going to have tropical force winds, which again, they're not crazy, but you can get gusts up to 65, 70 miles an hour. So most people are going to probably try to get their boats out of the harbor. So this will be the last time to take a look at the harbor full of boats. So we'll probably get some pictures of that later. I've done some, there was a race last weekend, a sailing race here in town. It was the Star Nationals, and Star is just a class of boat. They're a smaller sailboat with, I think, only 2 people on board each, and they're really lovely. They're small. They're all the same color, which is nice. They're all white and have these beautiful white sails with a star on them, and then just the number of the boat. So they had a race off of the neck here. So my husband and I last Saturday went out to the lighthouse, and he used his drone, and he went out and took some pictures and some video of the race, which was really fun. It's really fun to do. It's a little unnerving still for me. I'm just not used to. I don't have control of the drone, so I'm like nervous. It's just going to like drop out of the sky, which it isn't going to do. But I think it's really cool, and the pictures that he comes back with are really, really cool. And he's learning how to do it. So the more practice he has, the better. So we did that last weekend, and he came up with some really nice pictures and some really some fun video. So I may be able to put some of that in at the end of the podcast to show you what he's doing. But it's fascinating. It's amazing to me that they have these machines, these drones that can do this. They can do this now. It's really, really interesting, and it's funny too because now anytime I see a video or if I watch a movie. You can see, you're like not paying attention to it because you're like, oh, that's a drone shot. Oh, that's a drone shot. Oh, that's a drone shot. I can see that that's a drone shot, and I know exactly what's happening with those shots. So it's kind of fun. It's our wedding anniversary next week. Probably the week after. My brother-in-law is actually getting married on next Saturday, so we have a wedding to go to, which will be nice. It'll just be local. It's just going to be a really small wedding, so it'll just be local right here, which will be fun. And then our wedding anniversary is coming up at the end of this month as well, and it's 30 years. We've been married for 30 years. That's a long time. That is a long time. But so I think we're thinking about. Kind of depends on the time, but we may take a couple of days and go down to go back down to the Cape and spend a couple of days there in Sandwich, Massachusetts, Cape Cod. So I'm talking about Cape Cod. The tourists are gone now from the Cape. The summer craziness will be over, so some of the hotels that are down there kind of open up again, and the prices go down. There's a little tiny. There's a really small little, actually a motel. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but the rooms are all redone and they're really beautiful, and we really like it there. We used to live in Sandwich, so we kind of have some haunts that we go to. So we're thinking about doing that for a couple of days, which will be very, very nice. And then of course, Ryback is coming. We're so excited about that. We have a house, so we'll all be together with Sophia's friends and Tracy and myself, and so we're really going to have a lovely, lovely weekend. I'm really looking forward to that, and I know it's going to be here before I know it, and I just can't wait. I'm going to get to meet lots of friends from online who I've never met before, which is going to be really super, super exciting. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh, 2 things actually. One thing is, I think I've mentioned this before, but I've been reading this series of Anne Cleeve's novels. You can see that. This one's called Blue Lightning. I think it's the 3rd, maybe? No, this is the 4th, actually. But these are the novels that they base the TV series Shetland on. So they take place in on Shetland, and I love it. I really love it. They're just fun. They're murder mysteries, so they're just fun, and they take place on Shetland. So once you've read the first one, you kind of know who the characters are, and if you've seen the television program, it's even better. But especially in the fall, this is just kind of my kind of reading. Not super intellectual, but it's really fun and interesting. And I'm doing my knitting. I'm reading a book about Shetland. It's all good. It's all good. So I really recommend them. I really like them again. So they're by Anne Cleves, and you can look them up. She has them. They're grouped as the Shetland mysteries. So excellent fall reading. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention too, I really enjoyed, and this came from my sister-in-law Tracy had mentioned to me a while back about an app called Knit Companion. And I think I had maybe tried it once, and I wasn't, I just didn't kind of pay too much attention to it. But she mentioned it to me again recently, and this time I actually have an iPad from work that I can use for other things. I have to use it for emails and things, but I can use it for other stuff too. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to download this and see, and I really, really like it. I think it's something you should take a look at. I don't have any affiliation with the company or anything, but I'm really happy with it because you can do all kinds of things. Like you can highlight your lines. You can you have a line that you can pull down so you know exactly where you are in a chart, and or in the written directions. You can. I think there are like maybe 4 counters. So if you're doing decreases within other things that are going on, you can keep track of it there. You can download any of your PDFs that you have in Ravelry can be downloaded right into this program, so then you can actually see them right there. So it just cuts down on printing out the pattern, and it's really there's a way to manage what it is that you're doing, and it just saves it. So every time you open up a project, it's right there. You know exactly where you were on it. So I really just wanted to give a shout out to say thanks, Tracy, for reminding me about that, and I have really been enjoying it. I've just really been enjoying it. So it's called Knit Companion, and it's an app, and I think it can be on. I have a copy of it on my phone too, so you can have it on Android or on Mac products. And there's a free version of it if you can download it and try it, and then there's a paid for version that gives you a little bit more ability to kind of change things up a little bit. But the free version is great. So if you're looking for something to kind of manage it and you want to use it like on a MacBook or an iPad or something like that, I recommend it. I just wanted to mention that because I meant to do that last time and I just had forgotten about it. So other than that, things are well. I'm going to work some more this afternoon on my blends field. I want to get it to that point where I have to really start doing some calculating and getting those shoulder stitches and the back stitches off, which would be really fun. I think we're just going to have a quiet day today and tomorrow, as I said, because next week we have the wedding, and I think we're having some friends over for dinner on Sunday, so it'll be a little crazy. We just want to have a kind of a quiet day. Plus, we're going to probably have that storm this week, and I might take the day off because I've been missing the storms. My husband's been able to go out and take all these pictures, and I'm missing them. And I have some time, so I might actually ask for Wednesday off. Then I can get some good video and just do some storm watching. That'll be really fun, and it'll be a great day for knitting as well. So that's all from right here. So thanks for joining me today, and remember, it's just knitting. Bye.